So this video is going to be about solving logarithmic equations, but we are not going to be able to use our TI-30XS multiview. We can only use this chart. So back in the day, I taught you guys that when you have a fraction like this, 1 over something, one way to do it is to ignore the 1 for a minute. Pretend like the 1's not there. And then come up with an answer. Whatever the answer is, you're going to stick a negative on that. Okay? Now I hear you saying 3. And I like that, Sean, because when you look at this, you're supposed to think 5 to what power will make 125? I'm hoping you know that in your head as being 3. That's one of the ones I hoped you would memorize. But if you need it, here's your chart. 5 to the third power is 125. So if it weren't for the 1 in the top, the answer would be 3. With the 1 up there, the answer is going to be negative 3. Okay? Now, if you wanted to, you could check it to see why it makes sense. All right? We're claiming that 5 to the negative 3 power will give us 1 over 125. And it should, right? Because negative exponent drops you down. So that would make 1 over 5 to the third power. And then 5 to the third power is 125. So that's 1 over 125. So it checks out. All right, anyway, let's go do number 4. All right, so number 4. You should know this straight from the cranium. What's the answer? 0. 0, okay? Because you're supposed to look at this and think 2 to what power is 1? All right? 2 to the 0 power is 1. So it had to be 0. All right. Again, looking at number 5. When you have 1/2 like that, a good strategy, I think, is to cover up the 1 and ask yourself what the answer would be. And then whatever you get, just make it negative. So 2 to the what power is 32? It's going to be 5, okay? Look at your chart. 2, I see the 32. That's the 5th power. 5th power will give it to you. So that means without the 1 on it, the answer would be 5. So with the 1, it will be negative 5. All right? One more time, we can check that. We're claiming that if we do a negative 5 power, we'll get 32. Let's check it one more time. I'm not going to check it anymore, though. If I do 1/2 to the negative 5 power, remember that a negative power makes a reciprocal happen. Okay, Herbie, head up, eyes open. The reciprocal is going to be 2. So that's the same thing as 2 to the 5th power. And that is, in fact, 32, which is what we wanted. So it does check out. Okay, to do number 6, we really need to write this decimal as a fraction. So remember your place value, guys. Okay? Remember that if I have 0.1, isn't that the same thing as 1/10? And if I have 0.01, that's 1/100th. If I have 0.001, that's 1/1000th. And if I have 0.0001, that's 1/10,000th. All right? Don't forget your 3rd grade or whatever grade that was. So this is the same thing as log base 10 of 1 over 10,000. So that's the key to this whole problem is that, making that fraction happen. Okay? Now, remember what we've been doing this entire time, you guys. If I have a 1 over it, can you guys say token? If I cover up that 1 for a bit, then I'm asking myself, 10 to what power would give me 10,000? So I'm going to look at my chart and see what's what. All right, it's right here in this gray column. That's 4. That would be 4. So I go ahead and write down 4, but what's the answer really going to be? It's really going to be negative 4 because it's really 1 over this. So negative 4 would make that happen. Okay? All right, just jump in if you have any questions, guys. Now, this is back to, we have to do our expanding and condensing to make these types of problems happen. We're probably going to have to put these together. Now, looking back at our equations here, notice that these formulas will not be given to you. All right, so you need to be familiar with these properties straight from the dome, the cranium. Okay? So, for example, if we're adding 2 logs, you could write that as 1 log of multiplication. 1 log of multiplication. So, I'm about to use this top rule right now. Can I make it yellow? Yeah, that's awesome. So, I can put these together and make it 1 log, so log base 4, but I'm going to end up multiplying these numbers together to make that happen. So it's going to be log base 4 of 16. Now it's infinitely doable, correct?
Yeah.
You look at it and you tell me the answer. What's the answer? It's going to be 2. It's going to be 2 because we're asking ourselves 4 to what power will make 16? 4 squared makes 16, so the answer is 2. Okay? Jump in if you have any questions. All right, this will be the last problem on this video. Oh, look at all those 1s. All right, so as everybody knows, if you have 1 on both of the numbers, those are basically, you could just cancel them out. We're not going to have to put a negative on anything. Okay? Whatever we get, since we had to reverse both of them, it'll be the actual answer because there's 2 of them. So 6 to what power will make 216?
3.
That's just 3. So the answer should simply be 3. Let's check it just to be sure that we understand why it's working. So we're claiming that if I do 1/6 to the 3rd power, then that should give me 1 over 216. But that makes automatic sense, doesn't it? Because 1 cubed is 1, and 6 cubed is 216. So it totally makes sense.
Yeah.
All right, that's the end of this video.